All right, good morning, everybody. It is 10 o'clock. Technically, it's 10:07 on this Wednesday. This is the First Alert Desk. I'm Lana Harris, here to bring you your top stories so you are caught up on everything happening. As always, if you are watching on our Atlanta News First Facebook page, be sure to comment or just say hi, say good morning, and I'll be sure to shout you out. So, Courtney, she's coming up with a look at your forecast later on in the show. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the school shooting in Nashville. A lot of people horrified by this, and it just seems to get more painful, I think, as we see the videos coming out, and that's what was recently released yesterday. Okay, so the Nashville School Police released this video of police literally hunting for the school shooter. Now, this video that you're seeing here is when that school shooter allegedly shot through the doors to enter the building that way, and that was kind of the scariest part to me. It didn't matter if the doors were locked, even if there was security measures like that, it wouldn't have mattered. So these are the 6 victims there on your screen. Nashville police released that body cam video, and it showed the police went on for minutes searching for 28-year-old Audrey Hale. So you can see police went through the building. They worked to clear the floors, the bathrooms. At one point, they finally heard gunshots coming from the second level, and they rushed upstairs. That is when the officers came around a corner, and they came face to face with that suspected shooter. Now, investigators say these 6 victims, the church, the school, the church and the school were targeted. The 6 people who were shot and killed were not targeted. They appear to be random victims. So Nashville police are just working to determine the motive at that point. Now, preliminarily, they did say that it seemed that there was, she was upset with the school. She went to that school, and she was a transgender, identified as transgender, and maybe didn't have, had some resentment towards the school, is what police had said originally. But we are still looking out for what they say about the motive. But it has a lot of people thinking about mass shootings, thinking about how many times our kids have had to go through this, wondering, when's the last time? We thought the last time was the last time, right? So there's been a push for enhanced school safety measures. There's been a push for a focus on mental health. Has obviously not stopped this from happening. And the sad reality here is that lawmakers don't seem any closer to anything that would provide some substantial change here. So I'll show you some video of another vigil. So as these families of these 3 children and these 3 adults who were killed are mourning their loved ones who were stolen from them, it seems, it hasn't changed. Congress is still divided. Did you know there's been 130 mass shootings in the U.S. this year? All those dots represent people who were alive or unharmed when this year started, and it's only March. So Democrats are urging for gun control measures, and President Joe Biden asked Congress to work on an assault weapons ban, but Republicans are in charge of the House, and there's really little to no support for weapons restrictions. Many of those Republican lawmakers say it would infringe on people's constitutional rights. Now, because this is an ongoing investigation, some Republican lawmakers say they want to wait until the facts come out before talking about legislation changes. So the division here just continues.
We must pass meaningful gun safety legislation and need to look at every possible way to do so. We must give families the peace of mind to send their kids to school without fearing for their lives.
The other side, all they want to do is take guns away from law-abiding citizens. Before they even know the facts, the first thing they talk about is taking guns away from law-abiding citizens. And that's not the answer, by the way.
So whether there's middle ground remains to be seen here, but for added context, we can tell you Nashville police say the suspect legally bought 7 weapons from 5 different stores over the years, hid them from her parents in her parents' home, and that before this shooting spree had been under doctor's care for an emotional disorder that had not been reported to police. Tennessee does not have a red flag law. So right now, I guess the focus, of course, is just going to be on mourning and waiting until the facts come out from this investigation. But again, a lot of people just kind of tired of hearing about this and wanting something to change. So we'll stay on top of that for you. Michael Baxter and Mr. Wesley Millsap, thanks so much for joining us. As always, good to see you. Our next story is talking about lawmakers once again. Okay, so this is our state, our beautiful state of Georgia that we're talking about now. Big day at the Georgia Capitol. It's day 40 of the legislative session. So any bills that don't get the final approval by midnight tonight are dead. Okay, so there's a lot of lawmakers and lobbyists who don't want to see this happen and having to start all the way over next session. And there's some high profile bills that are still undecided here. So let's dig into those. First up, House bill to allow sports betting in Georgia, with the proceeds bolstering the lottery-funded Hope Scholarship. Now, we're also watching a Senate bill that would ban the TikTok app on state government devices and school devices. It passed in both chambers, but lawmakers still need to agree on some tweaks before it ends up on the governor's desk. We are also keeping our eyes on a mental health bill. It's trying to address a shortage of mental health providers and then streamline the way that agencies share information about patients. Right now, Senate lawmakers are arguing over how much it costs, and they're fighting over hospital construction in rural counties. But experts say it's really important because millions of Georgians seek help for substance abuse and mental health conditions. And finally, we are watching a school choice bill. That one is aimed at students who live in a zone that has an underachieving school. It would provide vouchers of $6,500 a year per student to use on private school education or homeschooling. So hopefully they're able to get it done. If not, again, it'll all be pushed to the next legislative session. So we will keep an eye on that for you as well. Still on the topic of schools, this one's kind of scary, especially if you know somebody who either goes to Georgia State University or has a family member who does. There was a shooting near the campus last night, so we can show you the scene there. It happened near Georgia State University. Atlanta police say officers were called to student housing at Cortlandt Street and John Wesley Dobbs Avenue. They were responding to a call for crowd control at a party, and while they were there, they just happened to hear gunshots ring out. Now, according to police, people in 2 sports cars were shooting at each other, and they say a building in the area was hit by bullets, but thankfully nobody was hit. So that would have been, my gosh, such a worse story. We'll continue to keep an eye on that one for you as well as always. But if you know anybody in that area, make sure you check on them. Last one, Apple. Buy now, pay later. Okay, those two don't usually go together, but they do now. Apple Wallet is introducing its own version of the buy now, pay later version. So I'll tell you just the information that I have here. I don't have any video for you. Basically, you can split payments for purchases into 4 installments over 6 weeks. So that first installment would be due at the time you buy it, but then you could wait to pay the rest of the money. You've heard of this stuff. There's a firm, Klarna Afterpay. You've probably heard of some of those. So Apple users would also be able to apply for a loan within the Wallet app, ranging from $50 to $1,000. No interest, no fees. So the move comes as a growing number of consumers have turned to those buy now, pay later programs. I don't know, man. I think it's a trap. It's not great that you don't have the money to buy something and it's that accessible to you. You know, sometimes when you just grab your wallet or your Apple phone and you just buy something because you forgot your wallet, you didn't even need it. But it was accessible to you. I don't know.
I literally did that today, Lana.
Yeah.
I literally was like, I don't remember my card number, but my Apple Wallet knows my card number.
It's right
and
there.
It was that easy. That's a slippery slope to me.
Yeah. And what if, okay, not only do I not have my wallet, but I don't have any money. Apple will loan me $500 right now with no fees.
I can pay it off later, but then more bills happen.
Stack and stack and
that's
stack.
Right.
Slippery slope.
That's a slippery slope. I mean, I think it might be useful for some people, I guess. Maybe like around like school shopping time for like parents and stuff. It's like, oh, I'll just pay all the school supplies back later. But like, I don't know, that could turn into like, oh, but you know, that big flat screen TV looks really good, and those Christian Louboutin heels look pretty good.
Those look real good.
Those look real good. Man, I don't know, I might have to check into it now. Oh, man, anyway. All right, everybody. Well, in all seriousness, we have a beautiful day. Whether you are heading out shopping, let's do so responsibly, everybody. Budgets are smart, okay? Budgets are smart. If I've learned anything trying to become an adult, doing this whole adulting thing, I have learned that a budget is my best friend. Okay, so some clouds, so kind of filtered sunshine out there over in downtown. It's going to be a beautiful day after a pretty cold start. I have my long sleeves on today to keep you a little extra warm because we were in the 40s. The mountains were even in the 30s this morning, so had a little bite to the air this morning. Definitely pretty cold out there. And this afternoon will be just phenomenal, nothing short of stunning. So hopefully you can get out and enjoy it. Maybe take your lunch outside in the next couple of hours. Take the dog for a longer walk today. Maybe get your exercise outdoors today. That's what I plan on doing, going out for a nice little walk and a jog today because it's just going to be beautiful. But if you can't do that today, we have a couple more nice days ahead of us to get out and take advantage of the weather. I do want to start with this, though, and good morning to everybody. Good morning, Elizabeth. Good morning, Wesley and Michael. Good morning. So I want to start with this because clearly we've had a wet past couple of days. So I wanted to check in on the rainfall for the month so far. And for the month of March, we've picked up, at least at the Atlanta airport. Now, I don't think this is very representative of all of the area. Of course, if you're north of Atlanta, you've probably picked up a little less than this. But if you're south of Atlanta, if you remember the other day, we were saying that some spots like parts of Lamar County and Meriwether County and Spalding County have picked up 7-8+ inches of rain. So this isn't representative of the whole area, but where I'm getting at is we are looking good rainfall-wise. We actually started the month in a bit of a deficit for the year, and the month of March definitely helped us regain that deficit and ultimately be in a surplus. So we've picked up again a little over, a little under, I should say, 5.5 inches of rain at the Atlanta airport. And so when it comes to the departure from normal, we are in an inch of a surplus, a little over an inch of a surplus, which is good news. Of course, this is the growing season for a lot of farmers in the area, whether they are here in North Georgia, down in Central or South Georgia. So to get rain is a good thing when they're trying to get all the things like peach crops growing and strawberry fields growing and pecan farms, all the fun things that come with the warmer months here in Georgia. I think we have some of the best staples, I guess you could say, in the agriculture world. So as we look at our 24-hour temperature change, still several degrees cooler than this time yesterday. If you ask me, this is noticeably colder, 5 to upwards of 11 degrees cooler in some spots. So definitely a nice chill in the air. Temperatures out there are generally in the 50s. So 52 in Atlanta, a little bit of a breeze as well. So notice that wind out of the north that's pulling in this cooler and drier air behind our front that brought us all the rain and storm activity. So that is going to make it feel just a little cooler. That wind, when it's chilly like this, definitely doesn't help. So you'll still need the jacket, not a heavy coat, but definitely some longer sleeves as you make your way out the door this morning. 49 in Canton. We're at 46 in Dallas, and this is all, by the way, just past 10 o'clock here. 52 in Athens and 51 in Locust Grove. So through the day today, we will see a decrease in cloud cover. What's going to happen is we'll have high pressure filter in. High pressure is sinking air. When air sinks, it warms, so we will start a warming trend the next couple of days as well. But it also kind of prevents any kind of moisture from creeping in. It suppresses the air, so that allows for clearing of skies most days. We have mostly sunny skies on the way this afternoon, again with mid-60s for the afternoon. Just really a wonderful day. Putting this in perspective of average, this is actually a couple degrees below average. Our average high for this time of year is 69 degrees, so it'll be just shy of that, but nonetheless just a picture-perfect spring day. Through the overnight hours, it will be chilly again. So if you live up in the mountains, Clayton, LJ, Blue Ridge, you are going to be cold. The Gainesville area, Canton, you'll wake up in the 30s and 40s tomorrow, low 40s, and we'll all be in the low 40s tomorrow morning. But again, mid-30s the further north you go and up in those higher elevations. It's going to be pretty cold tomorrow morning, so maybe a thicker jacket as you step out the door. But tomorrow afternoon will be super, super comfortable. Tomorrow we'll see sunshine in 70s. Friday it's going to be another warm day and showers will roll in late. And then Saturday we have pulled the trigger on a first alert for Saturday because of the chance for maybe an isolated strong to severe storm and also the chance for more heavy rain. Our ground is definitely going to get a couple of days to rebound, but with more heavy rain on the way, that's just going to help continue to saturate the ground. So hopefully these next few days the ground can kind of again rebound a little bit and dry out. But if you live in some areas that are just poorly drained, that might cause some problems with some of the heavier downpours on Saturday morning, and we'll show you what we're talking about here. So something we will be watching over the next couple of days, and I point this out because I know a lot of us here in Georgia aren't necessarily from Georgia. You're from places in the Midwest. You're from places out in the plains, and there's going to be a severe weather outbreak for parts of Illinois, Arkansas, northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, western Tennessee, where long track tornadoes are possible. When you have a day 3 with a level 3 out of 5, that's what you're seeing, that brown color there. Usually over the next couple of days, that only gets higher. So that's definitely a huge red flag. If you have family who lives out there, then you just need to make sure that they are paying attention to their local forecast, because Friday, it's going to get pretty stormy out there. Now here at home, that front will move in Saturday, late Friday into Saturday. And notice you see that green color kind of clipping northwest Georgia, and the yellow, that 2 of 5 threat just outside of our area. Essentially, we're going to be looking for an isolated strong to severe storm Saturday morning. Yet again, I do not see anything like we had unfolding last weekend on the way for this weekend. This is a quick moving front. It's going to clear the area, so it's not going to stall and hang out and bring us multiple days of severe weather. This does look like a pretty quick moving front where the morning will start stormy, but the second half of the day will actually be pretty nice. But expect morning rain and storms throughout the area, and it should clear by around noon. Now that timing still fluid, of course. It's still only Wednesday, so we have a couple of days to go for the models to kind of figure it out, but just keep in mind we do have a first alert for Saturday, as rain will be possible for the first half of the day. So if you have any Saturday afternoon plans, you're looking good to go. It is going to be breezy. Not that that necessarily is a reason to cancel plans, but just something to keep in mind if you're maybe having a party outside or a barbecue outside over the weekend, and you know how it goes when it's windy and you have tablecloths down and paper plates and cups and all the things. Just that's something to be aware of. It's going to be breezy still in the afternoon. But the storm threat, again, should be between right now. Again, timing could change, but the timing right now between around 4 and noon, starting in our far northwestern counties, and then the front will move through Metro around 8 or 9, and then south of Atlanta through lunchtime, and then make its way down to central Georgia through the afternoon. So isolated strong to severe storm. That's why we have a first alert for it. Just a day to circle on your calendar. We've said it before. We'll say it again. Have the Atlanta News First Alert weather app just in case any severe storms roll through. You'll get those notifications right to your phone. I know you've probably gotten a lot of those over the past several days as we've been updating that really feverishly for you. So we'll continue to do so every day, but especially on severe weather days, isolated or not. So Sunday, we'll have partly cloudy skies and low 70s. We'll wake up in the 40s Sunday morning, so really, really comfortable back half of the weekend. Definitely get out and enjoy it. Reminder, again, it's like I knew the graphic was going to be there. Just got ahead of myself. First Alert Weather app, great tool to have. All right, so here's your forecast over the next 7 days. Atlanta's most accurate, by the way. Today, we'll be in the mid to upper 60s after a really chilly start. Cold in some spots, if you ask me. And then we'll wake up in the low 40s tomorrow. Some of us, especially north and in the higher elevations, you will wake up in the 30s again tomorrow, so just prepare yourself for it. Low 70s for tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow's just going to be stunning. Get out and enjoy it. Sunny, low humidity, 70s. This is the most beautiful part about spring, guys. It's not too hot yet. It's not too cold. It's just right. Upper 70s Friday, mostly dry. We will have the chance for a few showers late Friday night. So if you're going out Friday night, doing anything after sunset, I am not one of the night owl type people, but if you are, especially if you're north of Atlanta, keep in mind you might run into a couple of showers ahead of our cold front that will bring rain and storms Saturday morning between around 4 a.m. and noon, maybe an isolated strong to severe storm. We'll be keeping an eye on that storm threat. If the timing changes, if the dynamics change a little bit, then that's going to obviously change our severe threat. And when you are still several days out, things are definitely still evolving. So we'll be keeping an eye on it, but definitely have that day circled on your calendar. Sunday, partly cloudy and low 70s after a chilly morning. And then we do kind of go into a more unsettled pattern next week. It looks like Monday's rain chance will be slightly higher than Tuesday's. Models are definitely not agreeing. We're going to have a couple of these almost waves of energy roll through Monday and Tuesday out ahead of a front. So that could increase our rain chance Monday and Tuesday. Definitely doesn't look to be a washout. We're going to be plenty warm, so thunderstorms will be possible as well. Mid to upper 70s, low 80s on Tuesday. It does look like that front, just looking way ahead past the 7-day, beyond the 7-day. It does look like that front will move in Wednesday at some point, so that would bring the chance for rain and storms continuing even into Wednesday. So this time of year, a little wetter. We're definitely entering into a wetter pattern, and I was looking at the Climate Prediction Center, which gives us an idea of the temperature several weeks out, a month out, and gives us kind of just a general idea of patterns when it comes to rainfall as well. And it just looks like we'll be in a slightly above average pattern when it comes to rainfall. So a little bit of a wetter pattern seems to be setting up for the next several weeks. So doesn't mean that obviously every day is going to be super rainy. We clearly see that with the 7-day. But it does look like we are kind of getting into this roller coaster of fronts coming through and little impulses coming through, riding along the jet stream that are just going to bring us chances for showers and storms every once in a while and setting us up into, again, a wetter pattern. So that's essentially going to mean that more than likely as we round out the month of April, we'll continue to see the above average rainfall total, not going to look into a drought, which is good. You kind of want to be in a surplus. Not too much of a surplus, but you want to be in a surplus before you head into the really hot and drier months of the summer, so then you don't have to, the ground has plenty of water to work with, right? Better to be in a surplus. All right, so that is your forecast. We look ahead to a couple of really, really, really just beautiful spring days. These are the days where we just love to live in the South. Now, the pollen count's a little high, but we're not going to talk about that. So have your allergy medicine and then go soak up the sunshine because it'll be really nice the next few days. I hope you enjoy. Make it a wonderful Wednesday, everyone. Stay safe as you're making your way out and about, and we'll catch you here next time.